Hey guys, welcome back to Papa Prepper. T here. I want to start off by telling you guys my name is Tommy, and you guys can call me Tommy. Like in emails or whatever. It's probably kind of weird calling me Papa. I don't know. I didn't really think about it until earlier today, reading some comments, and it's like it's kind of weird. So if y'all, you can call me Tommy, T. Papa, whatever. I just want to throw that out there. So, did y'all see President Trump today? Looks like it's over, guys. Unless he's saving something real big for the very last minute. I can't see somebody, especially him, as much love and support as we've all poured into him. Which, don't get me wrong. God love him. The man's fought tooth and nail. Hell, he put up a hell of a fight for 4 years. He's had nothing but an uphill climb since day one, and we all know that. So, maybe he's just tired, You know how tired and exhausting it is just to follow it? Imagine living it. He wished us luck in the next administration, and don't get me wrong, that could still be him, I suppose, but it's going to have to, he's going to have to blow the top off of everything all at once. So, who knows? This might be it. Either way, it's going to be a long, hard ride, because you know what we're going to face if he does blow the lid off everything. The left, they're going to lose their mind. It's going to be bad. To put it lightly, it's going to be bad. But, can't be all doom and gloom, right? We got to focus on the positive. We know that the Lord's on our side. We just got to keep faith in Him. Pray to Him every day. He's listening. This is all part of His plan, however it plays out. It's His will. So, we just have to ride it out and see what He has in store for us. Tonight, I'm just going to kind of hit on some things, just kind of DIY, kind of cheap things you can do to kind of beef up your house a little bit, kind of make it a little more secure, make you feel a little more safe. Most of this stuff's fairly cheap. As with anything, it can get pricey. Just depends on what your budget is, what you want to spend, and sometimes you do get what you pay for, I am going to drop a couple links in the description of this video for some stuff I looked up. But, excuse me, I have to put on my old man glasses to read. I wear contacts all the time, and my eyes aren't quite bad enough. They said this will probably be the last year that I can get away with just contacts. Next year's probably going to have to be bifocal contacts. So, they prescribed me these to wear over my contacts to read with. So, it is what it is, y'all. I'm getting old. Alright. Excuse me, let me get a drink before we start. Alright. And this is my handwriting, so it's twice as hard to read. Looks like a preschool kid attempted to... Well, I'll show you. Look at that. Man, that's awful. Anyway. Just your house in general. Okay? Your perimeter. Your yard. Your yard. Your land. However big or however small. The most obvious is surveillance system. You've got ADT, stuff like that. But what happens? There's nobody, even if we have electricity, 9 chances out of 10, if there is like martial law, whatever, there's not going to be anybody to respond to that, especially like way out here. So you could go, the hardwire, or, not so much a ADT, but, something you can install yourself. They do have those also that notify the police, but like I said, worst case scenario, there ain't gonna be no police coming to save you. So they do have DIY, cameras that are relatively cheap. You can put up yourself. They take like 2 to 3 AAA batteries usually. The battery life on them are usually really good because you can set the perimeter so they're not constantly running. They're motion activated. And most of them are Wi-Fi, so you can link them right to your phones. If you don't have phone or Wi-Fi, there again, it's not going to work. So there are I haven't installed it yet. I bought my wife one because she wanted one really bad for Christmas. The Ring doorbell. Those aren't cheap, but you can get them battery operated. So, and they're Bluetooth, a lot of them. You don't have to get the Ring brand, Google or whatever. You can get them fairly cheap, okay? But as long as you have a way, keep batteries in it and keep your phone charged so you have Bluetooth connectivity, you'll still have a little bit of security. And as far as that goes, if you could afford it, you could link several of those, like up in the eave or whatever of your house, just to kind of, check on your perimeters and whatnot. And as long as you're in Bluetooth range, you might have to walk to that room to connect, but it could work. And then there is always fake cameras. They have them that have the little red lights that flash, or and most of those anymore are solar powered. So you just a couple screws, put one corners of your house, and maybe by your back door, on your garage, whatever you have. At least that's a little bit of deterrent, pretty cheap option, really, about as cheap as you can get. And then there's always, you could put the warnings, trespassers. You don't want to come off like you're trying to be, the tough guy. Okay, I personally wouldn't put up, warning, no trespassing. Trespassers will be shot. Nothing. I wouldn't put up stuff like that. Just put up like fake security signs. Put the beware of dog sign maybe in your window. Window of your house where it faces out. Just stuff like that at least make them stop and think about it. Before they even get to your house. If you can detour them before they even touch your home, that's the best. That's the safest route to go. Excuse me. Your windows. You want to make sure, because a lot of older homes, those locks get kind of feeble. Okay? So you want to make sure that all your windows are in good locking condition. You'd be surprised that a lot of older homes don't even have locks on their windows. And for windows, you can order, it's not, ultimately the cheapest, and it's really not even that cheap anymore, if SHTF is plywood, okay? Cover your windows from the inside, okay? Because if you put it on the outside, they can just pry it off, unscrew it, whatever. And that's more of a, SHTF, like a mob coming at your house kind of deal. You don't want to do that. Just, if it's just kind of bad and, people are kind of starting to, steal or break it, And if you do feel more comfortable with that, go for it, But you don't want to be obvious, because you want your house to appear kind of plain Jane, so to speak, Because if you have like high-tech equipment hanging off your house for surveillance, and like they probably got nice stuff in that house. We're gonna get in there. So even with the fake cameras and stuff, kind of don't overdo it, okay? Don't make it look like you're sitting on $1 million, okay? But you can, the next step up cost-wise is they do make a film, a clear film that you can put over your window, and it doesn't make your window unbreakable, but it makes it shatterproof. So it's kind of almost like busting a car window, like a windshield. You know how it's plastic, and well, it kind of does that, not to that severity, but it does give you a little more time to get strapped or whatever you got to do to ward off this guy. I mean, they're still going to get through it, but it gives you a couple more minutes for them to get through it. And a little higher yet still on the price is the burglar bars. But then, like I said, especially like out where I live, if I started putting bars on my windows and stuff, people are going to A, think I'm nuts, and 2, that's going to make their want to get in my house tenfold. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be so hell-bent on getting in here because they're going to think that I'm sitting on whatever. So, now, if you live in the city and you can't get out, burglar bars wouldn't be that far-fetched to go, to have put on your house. I mean, that's just basic security in the city. You see that all the time. But in the cheapest, the absolute cheapest, I mean, I'm talking if you just got, dowel rods aren't that expensive, but they're not that cheap. Home Depot, Lowe's, you can cut it to however many you need or whatever length you need. So I'd say for $30 on the high end, what you can do is just cut poles, cut dowel rods. From the top of your bottom window, like not the window seal, but the top of your bottom window that slides up, you can get a pole that goes from there to the top of your window sill to slide in there. And basically the same thing you do on a sliding glass door, only a lot shorter. That's like the absolute cheapest and probably, honestly, more effective than the window film. I mean, granted, they can still bust the window out, but you're not leaving it to where they can just slide it up and come in. Then there is motion sensored lights. A lot of those are solar powered. Still not really too low on the cheap end, but like they would be cheaper than the window film. But that's not, I mean, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. Excuse me, guys. That's next on my list. I'm sorry, I forgot to separate it. That's nothing to do with the windows. I was just reading my list. Motion triggered lights. Okay, those, I got, you can spend big money, get the real nice ones, but grid down, you have nothing. So I personally, we just bought one actually for the garage. It's just a little cheap thing. I think it's as seen on TV, one of those real bright ones you put like up over your garage door, solar powered. I think it was $20. So if you spend, say, $60, $80, get 4 of them, maybe one for each end of the house. That's, I mean, having that bright light come on at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's probably going to scare anybody off. Relatively cheap. And there's always the old school, hang bells or chimes on your doorknobs. Tape some to your window seal. So like if the window comes up, they fall down and, rattle, and you have that. I really don't, like in my house, I wouldn't even hear that all the way back in our bedroom from the back door. I would never hear that. But that's just something that a lot of people suggest. I could see maybe if you lived in an apartment, something like that, that could possibly work. Dogs. The bigger the better. The more, even if they're like, okay, I have an American Bulldog. This dog is a baby. Okay, he is the loving it. Well, you've seen Tank. He's just a big goofball. But man, when he hears a noise outside, dude, you'd think he's going to tear their throat out. That's what he sounds like. So, get you a big dog. I mean, even a little one. They hear that bark, they're going to know it's going to wake somebody up. But, the bigger, the better when it comes to having a dog for security, obviously. Fences. Putting up fences can be good, but it also, in a way, gives you a false sense of security. Okay? Because most fences, unless you build it, 8 feet tall, angle the top, and put razor wire around it, fences are pretty easy to scale and jump over. Even my big butt can get over a 6 foot tall fence. Okay? So, I mean, it would slow somebody down coming into your yard, but for me personally, I don't see a fence, like I said, unless it's, 10 foot tall and razor wire. It's really not going to keep anybody out if they're wanting in there bad enough. And that's a very expensive thing to put up for it to fail you, okay? And if you go fencing in your yard, kind of like putting the bars on your windows out here in the country, if I was to go putting up security fences and stuff, that's going to make me a target out here. Okay, that's going to make people want in my house that much more. And here's what I was kind of hinting on with all this other stuff. You want to be able to fortify your house, but you also want to still kind of blend in. Hold on just a second, guys. I lost my place. Can't even read my own writing. That's terrible. If you don't have blinds, put blinds up. Just for the simple fact, if somebody's out casing your place, if you have them blinds drawn, they can't see what you got. But if you got your blinds open, especially at nighttime, and they're just happening by, and they see this 70-inch TV and whatever you might have in there, guns hanging on the wall or guitars, I mean, every room of our house has blinds and they are shut, like all the time, except for like during the day. Sometimes we'll open the windows, let the house air out a little bit. But other than that, nighttime, they are shut. I don't have a lot, but what I've got, I've busted my hump to get, or my wife has busted her hump to get for us. We're a pretty good team, but we've worked too hard just to let somebody come in and just basically advertise what we got. But yeah, just keep your house kind of as mundane, normal as possible. So mainly focus on I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I think you guys know what I mean. Kind of like the gray man thing. You could be strapped, packing a 9, or, whatever your weapon of choice is, have knives in your jackets, but you look just like some whatever moping down the street, But somebody starts it, you're going to end it. So it's kind of like the gray man thing, only with your house. Train your family. Not necessarily, in basically have a plan in that situation. Like, hey, if somebody's trying to get in the house, I'm going to do this. You need to be doing that, and you stay back here. Whatever your plan may be, make sure you all know it. You're all on board. It's going to be chaotic anyway. So the more things you can have planned out, the better. Take your family shooting. I honestly wish we had more time as a family to go out to the range, but our schedules are so hectic. All of our schedules conflict. my girls, I'm pretty secure with their skills, but we could all be better. You know, I'm pretty confident in mine, but you can always be better. So definitely, if you can get some range time in, and even going to the range, I know ammo sucks to waste at the range, even if it is just practice rounds. Practice rounds will stop somebody just the same. But I know it's hard right now to go out and expend that ammo that's really not extra anymore. If you have any skills in fighting, any kind of martial arts, I know our veterans, you know, whether it be your uncle, your aunt, your papaw, you know, your mom, your dad, somebody has to have some skills in fighting. Have them teach you. You know, you might not always be able to get to a weapon. You know, have somebody, I'm not saying go out and pay lessons, you know, to go once a week to whatever dojo up the street, but find somebody that has some basic knowledge of how to scrap and have them teach you. That could be a very good asset. Because like I said, you might not always be able to get to a weapon, but you're always going to have yourself. Melee weapons. Man, you can make a weapon out of anything. Anything. Kitchen knives, hunting knives, ball bats, golf clubs, broomsticks, mop handles, curtain rods, you know, whatever you can get your hands on. And you know, in a crisis, I mean, if it came down, I mean, I'd smash one of these guitars over somebody's head if I had to. You know, whatever's going to stop them, you know, and keep them from getting to my family, I'm going to do. So anything can be a weapon. Use your imagination. Reinforce your front and back doors. Well, any entrance to your home. Reinforce it. There's several ways to do so. You know, you have the night lock system. You have the bars that go up under your doorknob down to your floor. Those are very effective. If you can't afford that, a kitchen chair wedged up under there every night, you know. It's basically the same thing. Is it going to be as strong? No. But it's still, you're going to at least hear that, okay? And that's going to wake you up and deal with it however you need to. Also, your deadbolt, whatever you want to call it, the lock plate, whatever it's called, you know what I'm talking about, where your deadbolt and your lock goes into the door frame. Put like 3-inch wood screws in there. Torque heads. Just as tight as you can get them, as far in as they'll go. That'll help a lot. I said night lock, crossbar, and they also have the big, you know, bars, like a storm door. Only it's made of the big iron bars. You can get those and put in. Like I said, that's going to draw attention. So you know. It's really ultimately up to you. I personally think the less attention, the better. But, you know, if you're sitting on a mountain of ammo and, you know, you are triple black belt in kung fu or whatever, and you're just looking for a fight, sure, turn your house into a compound, you know. But for me, I want to be low key as possible, lay low as long as possible, save all my resources, and I don't want to kill nobody. I don't. So, anyway, that got deep quick. I think that's about really all I got for tonight. Like I said, it almost went kind of quiet today. You know, the president spoke, and basically that was about the wall. There is, you know, Washington, D.C.'s under state of emergency. The FBI did issue the warning for all 50 states, the state capitals, due to some kind of protests being planned. I gave you my point of view on that last night. Oh, if you can watch Tucker Carlson, from last night, the 11th. It was a very good, informative show last night. A lot of the big corporations, they have lost their mind. I know Marriott, Citibank, Target, CVS, Ford. I knew there's a reason I didn't like them. Never have. Ford, anyway. But anyway, they've cut all ties to any Republican Party. Don't matter what they were funding them for, donating for, they cut it all off. And we are now known as insurrectionists. Anybody that speaks out with a bad opinion of how the election went, or questions the election, or supports Trump, we are insurrectionists. There was somebody, I forget who he said, and this is all coming from Tucker Carlson. It's a recording artist. His label dropped him overnight because he was at that rally in Washington, D.C. Had no part doing with the Capitol breach, nothing. He was just there. They released him from the label. This is getting nuts. I mean, absolutely nuts. They want to preach about bringing us together. We need to come together in unity. And every day there's something else they're throwing at us to push us farther apart. Keep prepping, guys. Keep prepping. And God help us. That's all we have. I mean, He should be our main focus anyway. But if you've ever put off praying or doubted in God, brother, sisters, now is the time you need to be right with Him. Because tomorrow is not promised. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'll say that every time. But I'm bringing you the truth. And I know the truth is scary. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth. A lot of people can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. I had to go there. You older viewers will get it. But in all seriousness, if there's ever been a doubt or a time in your life that you need to pray and believe in God, this is it. And I'm by no means a perfect Christian. I fail every day. Like Paul said, I die every day. Okay? You just have to ask for forgiveness and truly mean it. He'll forgive you. And I'm not trying to get all, biblical, but man, I don't want nobody here stuck with this. When He comes to get us, I want all of us to go. And I can't tell you for a fact I'll go. I was young once. I've done some pretty stupid things. Do I personally think it's anything to be unforgiven? No. But you all got that one thing, I'm sure, that you're unsure about. Now's the time to pray about that thing. Make sure He knows that you're truly sorry and that you want to be forgiven. Like I said, tomorrow's not promised. That's the scary reality. We shouldn't be scared about this government. We shouldn't be scared about living or dying. What you need to be worried and scared about is where you end up afterwards. I myself would rather go to paradise. With that being said, I love you guys. God bless each and every one of y'all. Tomorrow I'm going to try to have a video on getting to know your neighbors, how to talk to your neighbors, about possibly forming a mag before it's too late. Me personally, I've kind of tried around here, but yeah, I think I'm going to have to go a little bit farther out to find a mag. But I've got a small one. Family's all I got. Family's all I need, right? But yeah, I'll be talking about that tomorrow night, I hope. I got some stuff going on tomorrow, but I mean, I'll have a video, but I want to make sure I tell, you guys the right stuff. So I do study, I take notes, and, when I can. So, and then Thursday, 7 p.m., I am going to go live, and we are going to have a prepper therapy session. I'm thinking about making that an every Thursday thing. If you guys would be interested, please let me know in the comments or email. It's papaprepper.com or papaprepper@yahoo.com. You guys are more than welcome to email me. I'd actually look forward to it. But yeah, I'm going to try to do that. I think I'm going to make that an every Thursday thing. I might have to change the times around a little bit because I'm not still sure who live streams when, because I know a lot of my viewers are here from Prepper Nation, which I know he don't stream on Thursdays, but I can't remember if Grimm does or not. And I know a lot of my viewers are from Grimm too, so I really don't want those two going, I don't want to be on at the same time he is. Just simply for respect. He's been doing it longer. His channel, Grimm's great. I would never do anything to disrespect him or John. But, and then Friday, I'm not sure about a show on Friday yet, or a video. I don't know what I'm going to do. But then we'll have Saturday night, 8 o'clock, live from the den, followed by Shogun Saturday night. So, until tomorrow night, guys, I'll quit rambling now. Like I said, I love y'all. God bless each and every one of y'all. And hopefully I will see you tomorrow night. Papa Prepper out.